boat sale of the year.
I am like you. I am just like you. I too at times am filled with so much fear, but like a hallway must find the strength to walk through it. Walk through this with me, through this church of blood, bone, and muscle that is ours. There's a doorknob that glows like chance before you. Grab it, turn, and pull. Step through, back straight, chin up, eyes open, hearts loud. Walk through this with me. Walk through this with me. You know, the question that, you know, so many folks get often asked, like, when did you say, like, become a poet? You know, if you're talking to someone who's a poet, and it's more, the question should be asked, like, when did you stop becoming a poet?
No need for a quake, I'ma make it here, be here 3 days, then I'll shake. I guess I gotta head back to ATL where life is swell. I'ma get it till the day that I'm ringing damn the bell. Ringing my bell like the girl said in that song. I don't know what knees that you decide to prey upon, but I'm just getting my thing. It's dial on, dial on, dial on. And if you wanna say it 5 times, then that'd be the end of the song.
In my work, I've increasingly become interested in thinking about art and specifically poetry as a space for imagination.
I'm gonna do 3 poems because we only have 10 minutes, and I'm gonna try to do some, like, you know, poems that anybody can like, regardless of their entry point into the work, and they're gonna all be from the book.
I mean, when I see something dull and uneven, barnacled and ruined, I know how to get to its iridescent everything. I mean, I eat them alive. I mean, I'll eat you alive, cutting nothing, slipping the blade in sideways, and knowing the space was always there.
I'm a person that really believes in taking things in terms of my creative process, like one very small step at a time, and then also relentlessly documenting the world around me to come up with ideas and questions that I always have on deck for the next project or the next idea.
Be resurrected, glistening in the story of you. Be shining.
I'm a city kid, so I grew up, like, when I was younger, I would sit in the back of the bus and I would write poems on the bus in a notebook. I worked at a restaurant, I would write poems on napkins and then, like, stuff them in the pocket of my apron, take them home and type them up later. So I'm pretty adaptable in terms of, like, you know, I'm not Ernest Hemingway. I can't be too precious in terms of where I write. Gotta get it done.
Probably gonna have I would do my first section of stuff, but while I'm doing my first section of stuff, I'll have people writing down words on little sheets of paper, and then we're gonna put it in a hat, and I'm gonna pull out words, and I gotta rhyme with that word, show the crowd. We're all a bunch of weirdos, and we got our own take on life, our own way that we create, and, you know, there is no wrong way or no, you know, right way to do art. It's just all of us artists getting together that have different achievements and have different careers, different backgrounds, and really a similar story, you know. So, it's dope.
As long as that rhythm is sound and people can follow it, you know. If you lose that, you lose everything. I'd rather tend to make something more simple because I want to engage my crowd.
So we're gonna spit some bars back and forth, okay? All right, so do you want me to start it off?
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna do it like this. I love reading in the library.
I love reading in the library.
I love everybody that I see.
I love everybody that I see.
I even write in a different sort of way because I want by the end of the time that I'm done singing my song for the crowd to sing it louder than me, or I want to hear them sing.
And I seem that I know what I'm doing, but I don't. But I keep on going because that's what I've taught.
Because that's what it's become for me, is like, it's like for someone to say, that's my song, you know, yeah, you might have performed it or you might have wrote it, but it's my song. And to have that kind of crowd reaction that it becomes a part of them, I think it kind of is rooted from some of those things that my father gave to me at a young age.
Boom, act, tap, boom, act, tap. But I still make everybody have a bright smile because I'm bright sun, like the sun entering through the beams.
All art is really madness that someone figured out how to frame. And taking free-style rap artists and then 2 storytellers and a bunch of poets and shoving them in a transit van and bouncing around to libraries. Just the stuff in the van was crazy. The kind of conversations you get into with people whose creative button is always pressed on. By the time we got to the last thing, we still hadn't exhausted the 9,000 topics that we could have talked about.
And I love the combination of all of us, because we don't do, you know, like storytellers, and that we don't all travel together. So that's just beautiful.
It's wonderful to be around people who are constantly thinking and use words as art, because no matter what kind of art you do, if you use words as art, you're all part of the same family. It makes me a better artist. I am a better artist today than I was when I got here. And my father started putting the ribs and the pork chops on the grill. And I want to tell you that I didn't eat anything that came off that grill. I want to tell you that. But that would be a damn lie. I ate pretty much everything that came past me. And about halfway through that meal, I remember holding up a pork chop bone and looking up in the sky and saying, to Blackie, the best pet I ever had. Thank you.
Your perception of reality, your consciousness can change when you put yourself out there. I mean, the earth literally felt like it was kind of moving just from the heightening of reality when you're sharing. I think like people who are saying, I love you for the first time, probably feel that same sense of sharing, of like, whoa, everything feels a little more crisp or real, if that makes sense. Yeah. And me dreaming of oceans made of ladders, of my many ways home, wherever that was Abba, is Abba, the bubbling sound, ba 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 ba. Language is not just to say, hey, how are you? I'm good, how are you doing? But language is also something that you can take apart and put back together again, and it's messy and it's synesthetic. It has, you know, sometimes you feel attacked by language, sometimes you feel soothed by language. And that power is incredible and can't be taken for granted.
Endless, suspended, that 100th, where my body tenses as if she can see it on me. The rose blooming on fast forward, starting in my chest and vining out my eyes, nostrils, mouth. I don't say a word. I know something new that I have always known.
What I make, even if nobody else sees it, is valuable.
I like writing far more than I like performing. But any time that I feel uncomfortable or, you know, anxious about performing, I just think of the generations of women, which included my own mother, who would not have the opportunity that I do to share my own story and my own words in my own body in front of people. And for me to shy away from that because I'm feeling self-conscious or I'm feeling anxious or I'm not feeling worthy, any of those thoughts that invade your mind just seems so foolish. And so when I step onto that stage, to do so representing all of the women who never could. Just looking at my own book and looking, and they've got a copy here, so I'm trying to track it down. It's like a baby's cry the spine of your own book.
Sometimes in between, we'd marvel the sky from the parking lot. The moon doing its usual magic, the stars poking through the clouds, the air fresh and sweet and hopeful. Tomorrow, not slowing down for a second.
Makes me feel good, being a library.
Oh, it's an honor to be grouped together with so many talented people at one time. I'm just absolutely fascinated. Everybody's so extraordinarily talented in their own individual fields, and all of them seem to be so multi-talented. I don't know when I'd have an opportunity to be associated with so many artists in one place.
In the bright sun, I look at light sun. Oh! In the bright sun, I like deep one. Let me tell you some more. Feeling uninspired, gonna make you snore. I wanna pass the mic to someone that I don't like. His name isn't Mike, it's Anise.
Got my mind fluttering off the top of the dome with your man. I'm ready to go back on home.
Just this, I don't know, fiery, exciting, adventurous time. You know, getting to roam from town to town and getting to kind of just sort of like build this poetic show. You know, when I'm around people that are excellent at the craft and the work that they do, there's always something that kind of like just sort of sparks off in my heart. You know, getting to see someone like Ray or Dame tell a story, you know, comes from a very different place. Even just getting to kind of like see these very brief performances of that, you know, kind of funnels into my head. It's like, oh, well, this is how this person used, you know, this hammer in this different way than I might have used it. If I were to hold the hammer the way that they hold it, and it being in the hand that I have, how might those two things converge?
I feel like I'm gonna be so disruptive to all these folks.
Right here in the stacks. This is called Hearsay. We're an organization called Air R&B from South Fulton County.
Sometimes I would wait for spring. Always, I have waited for spring. And once, my love arrived like it, out of the cold and with flowers on her fingertips. Thank you very much.
No, I don't think writing is usually fun or spiritual for me. Sometimes something hits you and then that feels magical, so I guess that's spiritual. But that's pretty rare. It's a lot of work to crack what the subconscious is burying, and I think it feels exciting when you get to that, but that's like 10% of it. The rest is work to like uncover everything that you've built a wall around.
It is as alive as the song of the storm petrels, which is also the song of the cormorants, the auklets, the black oyster catchers, the orange-crowned warblers, the song sparrows, which sings inside of you. Their song is the same song locked inside of you, Derrick.
One of the reasons I still write is because I am amused by where these ideas come from. If I laugh while I'm writing, it's not me thinking I'm clever. I think it comes from outer space. I still write because you get a buzz off it, and I keep chasing that feeling. I've got to get my mind to this almost meditative place where it's ready to receive. And that helps when I go on a walk, noticing small things that might trigger other things, or when I do a flow exercise and I just start writing on the page without trying to control it and seeing what's hiding back there in the subconscious.
There's an expanding circle of artists who you can tap into or help that happens when you have a mixture of artists like this together. And just, you're revitalized. You know, there was so much that I saw other artists do that inspired me and made me want to, you know, try those things myself.
My voice is disappearing because of the times that we've had, but I'll try it.
Oh, it's a metaphor.
Okay. There's something about a white moth spinning towards the light. Oh, I wanna know, I gotta know.
Sometimes, you know, life just happens. I probably come to this place of telling stories from having lived the life first. And the stories came afterwards. It's only probably when it started being pointed out to me that my life may be a bit unusual. And we went all the way down the form like that until we got to a word that I wasn't really familiar with. And the word sounded like sig, nay, chore. And she said, what does that mean? I said, Mama, I think that means when you write your name real squiggly like. And she said, I can do that. And she did. And she started to cry. And she started hugging me and squeezing me. And I don't know why. I'm just 11 years old. All I know is I'm just trying to help my mama. And she said, you will never know what it's like to be ignorant.
Hey, ooh. So that's you go. Hey, hey, ooh. That's good. Hey, hey, ooh. Hey, hey, ooh.
You probably heard it said often that everybody has a story. For me, the creative process is how you're trying to explain what is not easy to explain. In that I use the spoken word more than I use the printed form. My voice is the instrument. And when I can't say or can't duplicate in words, I try to duplicate in the emotional effect of that. The creative process for me is, what does it sound like? That even if I get some of the details wrong, the dryness in my voice, the spittle in my breath, the deep breathing that I do, this is human. This is what humans do. And as I'm speaking to you and things excite me even more, I start to breathe differently. And this is what that's my creative process. When I need to hear what I want to say and what does it feel like to me. And that's my process.
And the internet's off, and the time is right to be alone, to be alive, and the fire that's out in the middle of my chest, it's warm enough, it's warm enough.
Dim Son. I can't wait to eat that. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna